Hello, everyone. Good. Commercial plays, and then it kicks off at the beginning, so the live is a little delayed. I'm curious on that. Let me know in the comments if you're actually seeing this while your commercial's playing or after the commercial. Looks like I came in after on my side. I have it pulled up on the other screen. So hello, everyone. I know it's a small crew tonight because I'm doing this a little bit earlier. It is 7 p.m. and we are looking at Hurricane Milton coming in. I've got a flight later tonight, believe it or not, that I think is actually going to make it. So we will see how all this plays out. But let's see, who all do we have that is here? I see a few people watching. Hey there, Laurel. Welcome. All is safe for right now. So when you hear Florida, it's a big state, right? So this Hurricane Milton specifically, is coming up through the Tampa Bay area. So through central Florida and a northeasterly projection. And so we may get some of the tropical force winds down here in Miami. It's not rained at all today. It actually started out as a really nice day earlier, and it's gradually started to change. The winds are picking up a little bit, but it's still, it's beach weather, if you will. Like the wind here is not really a thing when it's just breezy. And that's where we are now. Looking out at the bay in front of my house, Biscayne Bay, it's a little choppy. I'm sure that the port authorities may have been having some conversations if a ship was scheduled to come in today. I don't believe that there was one, but I think that they probably could have made it without a problem. So my flight, one reason I'm doing this earlier is I'm supposed to be flying to Bolivia tonight. I've got an overnight flight there that's scheduled to leave at 11 p.m. And I've been trying my best to change it, and they won't change it until they cancel the flight. And the flight is still not canceled. So I will hopefully be on that flight. Over here, you can't see it, but I've got my beds full of all of my stuff. I'm ready to go, but I wanted to come and chat with you all about cruise ships and, do some escapism for a little bit and see how you are all doing. Adam from windy Florida. It is extremely windy in some areas right now. Scott coming in from Jacksonville Beach. You all are going to get some wind too, and maybe some rain out of this, so stay safe up there. Hey, Rolls Ferrari, welcome back. Always good to see you. Another Florida person, Florida Cruisers. Hi, everyone. And Mimi is here once again. Thank you, Mimi. And Janet Hall hunkering down on the Palm Coast. Hopefully it won't be too terribly bad, Janet, but please be safe. That is the primary importance. Windy on the 14th floor. I'm sure that it is. I'm on the 41st floor is where I live. You can't tell it by looking at, of course, the walls in here. But I was just out on the balcony actually looking at the weather and the clouds, and it's nothing special here. It's just really cloudy. I think one of the things most people forget with hurricanes, and this has been the issue for us, is the tornadoes that they're spinning. Because of that circular motion, we are seeing a lot of tornadoes pop up. I think we set a record today for the number of tornado warnings in the state of Florida. So kind of crazy. Yeah, I'm hoping by me it's not bad, and I hope by you it's not going to be bad. 75 gusting, we'll take it. If that's where it stops at, we'll take it. That's good. That's manageable. My next cruise, Michael, has not been impacted because I'm actually flying out tonight. So I was just telling everybody I'm going to Bolivia tonight. And so my flight is still on. I'm going to come over here. I'm actually refreshing the page just to see if it gets canceled, delayed. The plane is already here, luckily, because I'm flying on BOA, the Bolivian national carrier. And they come in first thing in the morning and they fly out in the evening. So the plane is already here, which is a good thing. And right now it's scheduled still to leave at 11 p.m. tonight. So fingers crossed. I just went and checked it and we're still a go. Hey, David, welcome. Yeah, Rosefari, that's one of the, people just don't think about, hurricanes having tornadoes, but it's almost like icing on the cake at that point. Like, of course there's going to be a tornado inside of a hurricane. Like, why wouldn't there be? That's just unfortunate, I guess. Hey there, Amy. Hunker down inland. Volusia County will be a Category 1 when it gets here. Stay safe nonetheless. Category 1, doesn't scare a lot of us Floridians, if you will. We still bring everything inside from out, but make sure that you're staying safe. That's always important. And hopefully everything at the hospital goes well too. Adam just got off a cruise recently on Celebrity Beyond and had to say I was really impressed. Got a picture with Captain Kate and food was amazing. Food on Celebrity is still good these days. I came back and I talked about this last week on from Independence of the Seas, and the buffet food there was just not good. I mean, there is no way for me to sugarcoat it. I was extremely disappointed in the buffet there. The main dining room was okay. It was nothing to write home about. One reason why I like going to Celebrity these days is the food quality is still a touch above. The buffet there, as well as the main dining room, it is much better than Royal Caribbean these days. And, some people are going to disagree with me here. I think that it's actually more similar to MSC's buffet, and not necessarily their dining room probably, but definitely to the buffet on MSC. I get the Celebrity vibes from that higher level that is there. So I'm enjoying my Celebrity time. Somebody else, I was just going through and catching up on comments right before this. Somebody was like, "Oh, Brandon, you're back on Royal Caribbean. I see you on Utopia. Are you done with MSC, coming back to Royal?" And I am very much so just a free agent these days. I am floating around, going wherever the value is, wherever the best bet is, and honestly, where I can make really cool content for you all. I love doing the full ship walking tours, and so I'm trying to go to some different locations where I can do that. So I'm going to finish out this year with a few on the Allure. I've got one more on Utopia. I've got, what else do I have? I've got an MSC ship. I got a Celebrity ship. So I'm kind of going to be all over the place. Beginning of next year, though, I'm going to really be more on Celebrity because the Silhouette's going to be doing weekends. And I booked the interior cabin there. So most of my cruises are booked well in advance. Excuse me, not interior. I booked the solo room. And so the solo room came at a really good price. I think I was booking it for like $400, $450 for a weekend on Celebrity, which is fantastic. That's putting it almost on point with MSC. So glad to do that. Though I do have all of MSC booked for 2026 because it was $99 refundable deposit. So I booked 4 months worth at $300 to $400 each with $50 of onboard credit. Just to lock in that rate, even if I don't do them all, I figured why not? It'll save me some money there. Jaden, biting the bullet and going on Icon. Hope you have a blast. You have to come back and let me know what you think. You know that I'm definitely not one of the bigger ship people, so I'm always curious when people go to Icon to see how it actually goes for them. Hey, Daniel. Thank you. I appreciate that. We were talking about it. We had a group cruise 2 cruises ago for me. And they were complimenting me on, "Oh, you're really the same person as we see on the camera." Or excuse me, you see it on the monitor. I see it on the camera. And I try to think that I am. At least I try my best to be. I don't change my behavior. I don't change my personality. What you're seeing is what you get. I can't make content that isn't me. And I know some people do a different style and form the caricatures and all sorts of stuff, but this is just me. I enjoy it. I like coming on here, and I would not enjoy meeting people and be like, "Oh, you're totally different in person." I think that'd just be, number one, it'd be weird. But then it'd be, well, what do you mean I'm different? How am I different? Like good or bad different? I don't know. But the biggest one I always get from people that meet me for the first time, and I think that this is just funny, is, "Oh my God, you sound just like your videos. You sound just like it in person." Which I think, is number one, a compliment to to my microphone here. I've paid good money for hopefully solid audio. So if nothing else, it's doing a decent job there. I saw that Florida Cruisers. It was coming over Weston and that whole area up by the Everglades. So hope all stayed well. I think that it stayed over in the Everglades, hopefully. So maybe it only just picked up a few pythons and maybe a crocodile here and there. But hopefully it didn't get any people or houses. I would love to do an Edge class ship. One of the things that I've talked about is I'm hopeful that Celebrity Cruise Line will put one of their nicest cruise ships, an Edge class ship, doing weekends. The reason that I'm hopeful for this, and I think that they might do it, is because Royal Caribbean's doing that. Royal Caribbean has put Utopia of the Seas during weekends, Lord of the Seas during weekends. It's bringing its best ships. I would even say MSC is now gearing up the seashore to start doing true weekends out of Miami. You've got it up in Canaveral doing Thursday to Sunday, which I don't really count, but it's one of their nicer ships doing weekends. And so if Celebrity wants to play in that game, and the game I think is a lot of first-time cruisers are going on weekends. That's where they're exploring, they're checking it out, seeing what the vibe is like, and if they want to do it again. And so if they want to stay relevant and not have their older ships doing it like a Millennium or a Solstice class, they're going to have to step up their game. And so I've got my fingers crossed. I've heard amazing things about the Edge class. I've heard some people say they prefer more of a traditional ship. But I want to go on there and figure it out for myself. But I need them to not be doing only 7-night sailings. That's getting in my way. Hey, Willie. You know, one thing, Willie, we'll have to meet for a coffee. I will see you there. I'm on the November 1st sailing of Utopia as well. So let me know down in the comments if there's anything I've not covered on Utopia. I've got one more video coming out on Utopia. I think I made 4 from my last trip there. The next one coming out is going to be the changes that they've made to Utopia. So I talk about some of the physical changes from the space that has been updated from other Oasis class ships, but also how they've updated and modified the atmosphere. So I'm super excited to get back there. So let me know in the comments if there's something I haven't touched on that you all want to hear at this point. And Willie, I will see you over there. Oh, you got the first sailing. That's normally one where they're still working the bugs out of it. Did you have a seamless experience? How was that? I would love to go for the shows. I hear Wizard of Oz is amazing. I'd love to go and do those things, but just the price point right now, as well as it's doing long itineraries, I just don't see myself jumping over to Icon very quickly. It's going to have to come down in price. And I've talked about this a few times, it's got to come down. And so the Star class or Starship, no, what? Star of the Seas, geez, I'm getting my words all mixed up. The Star of the Seas has to come out. Those prices are going to be sky high. And I think even then, it's going to take a period of time for the Icon's newness to wear out. Royal Caribbean has done a fantastic job marketing her and getting people to want to go on her and only her. So I'm super excited. And JJ Cruise, some of my favorites. I've known them before they've had their channel. They're fantastic. Such great guys. And I would actually enjoy doing one of their group cruises with them. So maybe one of these days, I'll see you on a JJ Cruise group cruise. That'd be a fun little experience. And they love their Edge class ships. I hear from them all the time. Haven't spoken to them recently. I need to reach out just to say hello and see how they're doing. Jaden, great question here. Did I like Utopia weekends better than I liked Freedom of the Seas weekend? Yeah, I did. I was pleasantly, shockingly kind of surprised that I enjoyed the weekend on Utopia as much as I did. And so I've talked about some of that in the last video on it being a fun, energetic booze cruise, which it is. And I know booze cruise probably is a little derogatory, but people there are drinking and enjoying their best life. But it is a really good time. Even for those people that don't drink like myself, they've changed a lot of stuff. And I think my next video probably is going to talk more about this. But they've done a good job of modifying some of the physical space, but also some of the entertainment, the activities, the way they do things has been modified that makes it a really solid weekend option. And so it's probably my favorite, I hate to say this, weekend cruise option right now. However, it is a good couple of $100, if not more, expensive per person for that experience. And so you kind of have to balance out what's the value of that and do you feel like you get it. I think for me, I enjoyed it. I will do it for special occasions, but I'm still trying to stay in that 400, under 500 mark per cruise. The Utopia is consistently coming in at 800 plus, and that's just a little rich for my blood these days. But I had a really good time, so I might wind up biting the bullet on that a few more times. But right now, I don't have anything past the November 1st sailing. Florida Cruise was flawless experience. So that's great to hear for a first cruise. I know they did some shakeouts before, but I just always get nervous. So we're doing a group cruise. I should talk about the group cruises again. I've mentioned it a few times. I keep forgetting. World America is coming up. So we have an MSC World America. This is a 7-night cruise. So if you want to cruise with me for 7 nights, we are doing that on the MSC World America. And that is going to be May 3rd. I always want to look at it so that I don't scare everybody again. It is May 3rd out of Miami, and it is a 7-night trip. It is the third sailing because I opted not to do the first one because, again, I want them to figure it out a little bit. And this is a new, bigger ship for MSC, sister to the World Europa, currently over in Europe. But, we can certainly meet on this ship. I think it'll be a great time. It is a non-group group cruise, so book however you want to. Just show up. We'll buy some T-shirts and have a really good time. Go down to the link down in the description to see what all the options are on the website, or sign up for the group newsletter, which I need to send an email out to. And then we've also got a West Coast cruise. This one's specifically for some solo guests as well. So we've got some solo staterooms on this ship, which is really nice. But that is November 14th on 2025. Refundable tickets. I know this is far enough out, but since we've got group space, you can get those tickets refundable. So if you do decide not to go, it's no harm, no foul. You just need to back out within the final payment. But I am super excited about sailing out of Los Angeles and meeting more of you from the West Coast. Always a good time and changing it up a little bit. I've only done one cruise out of the West Coast, 3 back-to-backs on Navigator of the Seas, and this will be my second time going over there, so super excited. Right now I can get on a cruise on Celebrity for what? Right now I can get on a cruise for Celebrity, about the same as Royal. That's insane to me. You know what? That's one reason why I started booking more Celebrity. So I am you all know this, very price conscious on what I'm booking. And when I was looking, the Royal Caribbean ship, specifically Freedom of the Seas, is $200-$300 more expensive than what I was finding Celebrity, which is a premium cruise line. I think it's probably arguable if Celebrity is keeping its premium status, especially on the weekends. Maybe the Edge class ships are. It's got some nice touches to it, but I'm every day, and I've talked about this before, Royal Caribbean and Celebrity becomes more similar every single day. And so we'll see how it all winds up shaping out, Adam. Ooh, doing a Halloween cruise. First of all, if you want have kids, bring some costumes. You can have a good time. There will be people dressed up. Nobody's going to go knocking on doors though, but they will do activities, especially with the kids. So make sure you do bring some outfits, a bag to be able to collect some candy on, and just walk around and have a good time. You're going to be on Utopia. What's a good thing to do? A cool thing, and I've talked about this in a couple of the videos, is their putt-putt course on Utopia has all these incredible LED lights. And I think that if you get the right Halloween costume on, you're going to be able to stand out really good and take some solid pictures. So I think that might be a fun activity to do for Halloween on Utopia. But I'm sure they're going to have some very specialized entertainment and shows as well. Hey, Katie, long time. Hope you've been doing good. Welcome, Alan with a Y. Always a pleasure. Yeah, and Adam, I am on the MSC World America for a solid week. I've not done a week cruise in quite some time. I'm doing a lot more land trips. Like you guys know, I'm flying to Bolivia tonight. So hopefully that makes it, but I'm doing a lot more land time. So I'm excited to be there. And it's going to be the same ship as an Oasis class. The builder, the framework of it, it is an Oasis class ship as we know it. However, it's going to have all these MSC touches to it. And so if you've been on an MSC ship or watched some of my MSC tour videos, their ships look very different than the other cruise lines that are out there. And so I'm super excited to see what kind of touch they're going to put on it. I am resisting the urge to go and look at the tours of World Europa that is out there because it'll probably be very similar to it. But I am very excited. I remain a solid MSC fan. The price, the value. I think I booked this for $1,300 for 7 nights with their drink package, with the internet, all that stuff kind of included. So I'm hopeful that'll be good. I think I'm in a solo ocean view in that one. So excited to check that out and excited that they're actually putting more solo rooms on the cruise ships. I think that's fantastic. Hey, Sam. So far, so good down here in South Florida, at least. Central Florida, and I think the northern side of the Panhandle are going to get a little bit more wind, a little bit more rain. It's still not even rain down here in Miami. It's kind of crazy. But as much as the storm was growing, I thought that would occur, and we've not gotten anything. I still don't Nope, no rain. So it's getting breezier as the night goes on, but as of right now, we're sitting in good shape. Hey there, Angel. I sure can. I always recommend my personal one. I don't get anything out of it, but if you'll email me at theweekendcruiser.com, you can. I'll let you know who it is. I don't actively advertise for them, but if somebody asks, I'm always more than glad to refer them because he is truly one of the best out there. And I know there's a few people in the chat that would absolutely vouch for him. So email me at theweekendcruiser.com, or excuse me, Brandon at theweekendcruiser.com. That's the important part. Brandon at theweekendcruiser.com. Beach Mike, we are doing celebrity reflection this weekend, and it was incredibly priced. It has been well priced. I was there. I actually took my mom. That was the second cruise we did last weekend, and we had a blast. We had a really good time on it. Reflection's a solid ship. For the price, you can't pass it up. You got to give it a shot. It's still, some of them I think go to Key West, but most of them are doing Coco Cay, Nassau, Coco Cay, and Sea Day. Yeah, the tornadoes have definitely been coming down, Sam. Hopefully they stay well away, but we will see on that. Yeah, waiting out the storm here too, Katie, but I'm supposed to be flying out tonight. I've been trying to change it. They won't change it. The flight's still scheduled to go, so hopefully the winds don't pick up that much. It's an 11 o'clock flight tonight, 11 p.m. Who schedules that in the first place? But hopefully we'll be able to make it out because if I don't go tonight, I'm probably going to have to cancel the trip, which will be really sad for me because I'm excited to go. Yeah, if you all are not pricing out, I feel like, I'm sensitive to this because loyal to Royal folks, and that's any cruise line really. Royal's just the one that kind of coined a term for it. But if you're blindly booking cruises and saying, okay, just because I sell in Royal, just because I sell in Celebrity, this is why I always have to book. Check out the prices. You will maybe surprise yourself on the difference you'll find between other cruise ships, and you might find more value. It is something I wish I would have done earlier on. I was very much so loyal to Royal, thought the world began and ended with him. And then I finally started looking around going, wait a minute, why am I paying so much for these cruises when I can go and have a very similar experience for hundreds of dollars cheaper per cruise? And when you do 2 to 4 cruises a month, that adds up a little bit. So super excited to look around, and I wish I would have done it before. And Adam, thank you so much for becoming a supporter of the channel. So for those of you that don't know what Adam did, he used this QR code, which takes you to Buy Me a Coffee, where I can send you a personal note once you donate some money to the Weekend Cruiser. I love doing this. And, thank you for the support that you all offer. It does mean a lot to me. So thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. Oh, you did the Pirate Jeep Tour, Dark Chocolates. Did you tell him I said hello? He was such a good guy, fun guy, knew everybody in Nassau. What we're talking about here, so the Pirate Jeep Tour, I did a video on this. They communicated with me, asked me to come do it. And I was like, sure, I'll do it. And super great company. They give small, more intimate, private tours around Nassau. So you can kind of see what you want to do, get out of the downtown kind of area with somebody that's a local. And they do a really good job. They make it fun. They make it engaging. It's a really nice experience. I enjoyed it. And Dark Chocolate was just hilarious. I think most of the tour guides were. We ran into a few of them while we were out and about, but we had a really good time. So Angel, glad you were able to do that. Robert, I always forget to ask people to do this, so thank you for the reminder. I'm not good at marketing. One thing you all will learn about me is I don't do a lot of marketing or pushing subscribers or saying, hey, give a thumbs up. I certainly always appreciate it. Make no mistake. I just am the worst at remembering to ask you all to do that. And I just take it for granted that you're going to, hopefully fall in love with the content and press the subscribe button, press the like button. But I know that doesn't always happen. But anyway, if you can, press that thumbs up button. Just let everybody know things are going well and you're enjoying yourself. First weekend in December, what ship are you going to be on, Katie? I actually enjoy, people always ask me when's the best time to go on a cruise or the cheapest time. The 1st of December is normally a really cheap time to go because everybody just went to Grandma's house for Thanksgiving. You're getting ready to go to Grandpa's house for Christmas, New Year's. And so those weeks in between, a lot of people are not traveling because they want to travel for Thanksgiving or for the holidays, year end. So that is a really good strategy, Katie. I'm a huge fan of that. I've got, I think just, I know I got two books. I've got The Wonder, and then I've got, oh, hold on, this is 25. Let's see what I'm doing this year. I've got just the Silhouette, so I'm right on that. And then I'm taking an extended land trip. So I'm going to be off for the holidays. You all might not hear much from me while I'm gone, but I'm going to be touring around India and Nepal for about 2.5, 3 weeks. It does include an overnight train, and it includes a boat ride down the Ganges River. So I am super excited for this experience. It's a place I've been wanting to go to India for years, and I found this tour where it doubled with India, Nepal. I've got a boat trip in there. So I'm super happy and excited to be going there very, very soon. After this trip to Bolivia, though, I do have to renew my passport. So my passport, you all, it's full. I have filled up my passport, I think like 4 years in advance because it's good for 10 years. It's already full. And I think I've got till 2028 on the thing. So next time I'm going to get the larger one. I don't think that I realized I was going to go that much, but I was chatting with a friend. Can you only imagine, at least for my passport book, if the Bahamas stamped me every time I went in and out of the Bahamas? Like I would have already gone through 30 different passport books at this point that was the case. So I am glad they do not do that. Some places will when you go on cruise ships. They've got special stamps. And I probably could pull out my passport and show you some of them. But they've got a picture of like a boat to show that you came in through a port. You see this more when you're in Europe, the Middle East. They do things like that. But it's super cool. Even when we were in Asia, we couldn't hold on to our passports. We had to turn them over to the cruise ship. But they stamped it in all the ports, which was super cool. I like seeing those stamps. But now that my book is full, I'm kind of like, because I can't do the online method. One of the things you learn is the online method for renewing the passport, which, by the way, my mom just did it. She got hers back in like 2 weeks. It was fantastic, super easy process. But it's only if your passport is up for renewal that you can do that. I'm too far away from that deadline, and so they're going to make me still go through the paperwork, still go and take a physical picture. I got to jump through some of the hoops, so we'll make it there. Angel, I wish everybody would have this response. Thanks, guys. Love you all too. Willie, definitely with you on trying new lines. I've been loyal to Royal, but tried Princess in Alaska and really enjoyed it. Want to try more? Absolutely. See what you like, and then you can go, okay, if I'm looking at a Celebrity and Princess ship and they're $200 difference, which am I going to get $200 worth of value, or are they going to be about the same thing? Princess has some Alaska samplers. I talked about this last week that I am eyeballing. I've not been on Princess yet, and people keep telling me that I would absolutely love going on Princess. And I think the only way I might wind up doing it is by doing a 3 or 4 night sampler to Alaska. They don't have anything shorter. So you might see me making a special run out to the West Coast to jump on one. Let's hope Fort Lauderdale does. I think Fort Lauderdale gets a little bit more rain than what we've gotten down here in Miami, but it's still been very minimal. They continue to remove the rain totals. I don't think we're even projected to get any at this point, Dino. So hopefully you're okay. And hopefully all is well in Nashville. I have done one, Willie. So I did one back in 2016, I think. I'm just quickly pulling up my sheet here. I did it in 2016 with my mom and my dad. We went to Alaska on the Explorer of the Seas. And so it is wonderful. It is majestic. It is beautiful. I wish that I could have spent more time on it. We did a 7-night there and back. And I kind of wish we would have done a land portion as well. And I don't necessarily mean planning the land trip through the cruise line. I think I wish I would have done one of the direct cruises that goes from like Vancouver, Seattle, up to Alaska and then drops you off, and then done a land portion kind of on my own. That's the one thing I wish I would have done different, and I may have at some point. But these days, if I do something else like that, I'm probably going to be heading over to the Norwegian fjords. This is kind of, I don't know if it's the new Alaska, if you will. Alaska's still amazing, but the Norwegian fjords are getting a lot more popular in the marketing. It's always interesting to me. These places have always been here, right? It's just interesting to see how people all of a sudden start traveling to this area and that area, and things shift a little bit. but you can't go wrong with Alaska. Katie, heading on Voyager, a small ship. I think, do I have Voyager booked? I think I do have Voyager booked in 2025. I do for President's Day weekend in February. I'm excited to go. I love a small ship. And I want to get there and check it out, see what it's got. Because that's one ship that I've not been on yet. So it means I also get to get another ship model, one of my favorite things to collect. Hey there, love. Free robes on. Let me talk here. Are there free bathrobes on a balcony? There are not. If you have status with Royal Caribbean Card and Anchor Society, if you book a Aqua class or higher with Celebrity Cruise Line, they will give you a bathrobe, but they do not come standard issue anymore. That is one of the things of time gone by. Even in Royal Caribbean, if you get it with status, and I don't even know what level that comes in at because I'm not a huge bathrobe person. You oftentimes will have to still request it. It won't be there. They just won't think to put it. And you'll have to ask them to have it. The only thing, and I'll share this with you all because we're family here. The only thing I use a bathrobe for is when my stateroom attendant has cleaned the room and I still need to film the room, but I'm tired and want a nap. And so I'll lay down on the couch, not messing up the beds, and I'll use the bathrobe to keep my legs warm and give me a little bit of a blanket. That's the only time I ever use it. Katie, does that mean I'll be seeing you for the President's Day cruise? I think it's the February 14th or 13th is when we sail, or when it sails. I have not done a suite on Celebrity just yet. I've done the Aqua class twice, and I've done traditional balcony cabins, an interior, and a solo cabin. Never an ocean view, and I've not done a balcony, like a traditional balcony. Though I say that, the concierge class as well as the Aqua class on Celebrity are normal balcony rooms. There's nothing special. It's a balcony that they just layer on these things too, Sam. So I've not had a chance to do a suite yet. Now that I've pulled back, I'm not in the casino as much. I'm not getting offers to go for suites, and I just don't see me buying those. Dino, I have a passport card, but interestingly, I've never used it. I don't know why. I guess the main reason is if you are going on a cruise, you can use the passport card to get on the ship. Get off the ship. That's fine. That's permitted. However, if something were to happen to you in port and you needed to fly back from the Bahamas, from Antigua, from anywhere, you're going to need a physical passport. If you have a medical issue, if something happens back home and you need to get off the ship mid-sailing, you're going to need a physical passport. And so the card is, I have it as a backup option. So for me, I'm going to send my passport off to be renewed as soon as I get back from Bolivia. So next week. With that, that means I no longer have a passport anymore. However, I don't have to send in my passport card at the same time. It still is good for another 4 years. And so I'll still be able to board the ship and skip the birth certificate line using that card. It is not a best practice. I definitely recommend having the paper passport, but it's something nice to have that you can hang on to. And I know that I've talked to Super Mario about this as well, because I asked him one time, I was like, Mario, like I have to renew my passport. Like, how do you renew your passport and stay on the cruise ship? And he said he just uses his passport card and sends the passport book off. And so that's the trick there. But otherwise, it has limited use. Nobody else, no, I don't think any other countries has a passport card. Nobody knows what this thing even is. There was somebody that was talking about a passport card at an airport for some reason. I don't even remember why. And this was over in Europe. And they got slammed in the comments because everybody's like, that's ridiculous. There's no such thing as a passport card. But it does exist here in the US only for land crossings as well as for going by ship. I was able to get more pages added. Can you just add pages once it's already done? I don't think they do that anymore, but I'll check it out, Thomas. That would save me a lot of hassle and some money because, of course, all these things cost a little bit, but I'll check that out. No, Dustin, come on down. Right now, the storm in South Florida, specifically Miami, Fort Lauderdale, is really not bad at all. It is a little breezy outside, but it's it's not horrible by any stretch of the imagination. So we're in good shape. The airports here are still open. I've got the national FAA.gov website pulled up, and Fort Lauderdale, Miami are operating with normal schedules. They don't even have any delays currently that are going on. So come on down. You'll be fine. Just stay away from the central part. They're probably going to still be figuring some things out over the next few days. Jaden, I did hear about this. The perfect day at Mexico. For those of you that don't know what Jaden is talking about here, they are building out the second perfect day at Coco Cay. It's going to be perfect day at Mexico. Doesn't, roll off the mouth the same way perfect day at Coco Cay does, but fine. I'm sure they'll work on the marketing for what this thing is going to be. But it is going to be in Costa Maya in Mahahual, which is the little city adjacent to the port there. So in reading one of the articles, and I think this was a Royal Caribbean blog article, so shout out to Matt and the Royal Caribbean blog, love you guys, that Royal Caribbean's been buying up a ton of property in Mexico around the port, and I think they're actually trying to buy the port itself. So to turn it into this experience of perfect day at Mexico, I have I don't even want to say mixed emotions on this. I think that I just don't like it. And I've talked about this with what they're doing in Nassau, building the beach club there. They tore down the entire little island that used to be super neat. You could see the nature, the rundown homes. Now it's going to have lounge chairs and beach chairs and all that kind of stuff. And it really annoys me more. I started cruising because I love going and seeing different places, being exposed to different cultures. We're going to get to a point where people are going to go on cruises. They're going to go to different countries, and they're only going to see the Royal Caribbean version of that country. You're not going to actually see Mexico. You're going to see Royal Caribbean's private section that is very sterilized, and it is very marketed. It's very revenue based. And it just bothers me that, people go on cruises as their first international trip, if you will, and they're not really going to experience anything different. They're not going to get any of the culture, any of the life of what's happening in these countries. And it's just a money play. And I don't think that it benefits the countries that allow this to happen. There, I said it. I'm going to move on off my soapbox, but not a fan. Will I do it? I'll do it once to check the box and then probably say it's not worth the money. Because there's plenty of places and day clubs in the Mahahual area that you can go to in Costa Maya. Oh, it'll be your first cruise, the Voyager. Hopefully you have a fun time. I think that's what you're talking about there, Katie. I might have missed one of the other comments, but I think I'm on there. Hey there, Sig. Oh, everybody's making it on Princess but me. We were just talking about this. Super jealous about that, Sig. Are you doing a 7-night in Alaska? Where are you going? What's going on there? Whoops, same comment again. Yeah, let me know what you're talking about there, Katie. I'm not sure I follow. Hey, Beach Mike again. Casino offers are incredible. We have Iceland, holiday cruise, in Japan for a minor investment while on Freedom in Alaska. This is one of those area, Mikes, that if it's working for you, blessed. Like, I like that for you, love that for you. I tried it. It did not work for me. I do not promote comped cruises through the casino on here. I think that people that can do it, wonderful for you. I was horrible at it. I was not good, quite frankly, at controlling the amount that I was gambling and lost my shirt more times than I should. And the cruise line was not giving me comps because I have so many cruises already booked. They're like, dude, you've already got 15 cruises with us. Why are we going to comp you one? And so I got even less comps. I was only getting the instant certificates, and it just didn't make sense. But if you can make it work, there's actually, is this you? Somebody sent me a note earlier that's making a video on this and asked permission to, who was this? Is this you, Mike? It very well could be you, Mike. Asked about making a video, and I need to respond to that. I wanted to be thoughtful and type it out, which is why I didn't respond on my phone. But of course, they can use the video. I'm not sure that I ever, wanted to sign up for, hey, gamble responsibly. Like, look at my situation. I was not able to do that. You might not either. But if that's something that comes with the territory, then glad to do it if it helps other people out. I'll bite the bullet of, hey, I made some mistakes and I'm still working my way out of some of those. Nelly, welcome back. Did you hear about those in Utopia stay on until Saturday, unofficial back to back? Is this because of the hurricane? I've not really followed much of the hurricane repositionings on where different cruise ships are going. I'm sure hopefully all of them are out of the way. I think I saw one image of the Norwegian Gem looking like it was a little too close for comfort, maybe, to Hurricane Milton. But Utopia is coming into Canaveral. It was under a Zulu watch, which means the gale force winds and higher were expected within 24 hours. So they probably have closed the port for. I mean, the port should be open by Friday again, I would think. So I don't know why Utopia would be getting a back to back. Maybe it's not storm related. You mean there, Nelly? Let me know. I'm curious. I didn't get a back to back when I was there. Granted, a back to back on Utopia is you get a full 7-night cruise. It's not as long as most people may think. That will be a great cruise. I would. One of the places I was going to go was Australia, so I'm kind of jealous that you're going to get to go there before me, Robert. I've been to a lot of countries, but I've not been to the Australian continent, and would love to go over there. Super excited about getting on Quantum though. Your trip is going to be before mine, so you're going to have to let me know how it goes. I've only been on Anthem of the Seas. Is the only other Quantum ship I've been on for 4 nights, and so I really do want to check out another one. I've heard great things about Quantum, about Odyssey, so maybe one of these days I'll make it on there. Ah, so you did, and you didn't have status there, JY? Thanks for letting us know and correcting on that. That was with Celebrity Reflection. So maybe that's a celebrity thing. I know Royal Caribbean, it definitely does not happen. But I think Celebrity might. I was just under the impression it was because I was in an Aqua Suite. Oh, you canceled a cruise. I hate when that happens, Ralph. You're on the Caribbean Princess and preparing for World America inaugural. Booked Hilton pre-cruise. Good. The Hilton here is good. It's just north of where I live. There's a lot of people that stay there, so I think you'll be fine with that. At least I'm assuming you're staying in the Hilton, probably up around 10th or 12th Street is where you're talking about there. But yeah, I hate canceling cruises. Hopefully, you canceled before you got into final payment. That's when it really hurts. I've done that a few times. That's not fun. But sometimes life pulls you in a different direction and you got to make a different decision. So, such is life. And again, somebody going to Princess except for me. I'm going to have to figure this out. Y'all are going to make me book a Princess cruise tonight talking about all this Princess. Hereby, Fort Lauderdale, just cloudy right now, not raining. Good to know, Sig. The airport is still going well. And hey there, David. Thank you for being a supporter once again. Can't wait for you to come on one of our group cruises again. We missed you this last one of the OGs, original folks that came with me on my first group cruise. So hopefully you can make it on the next one there, David, and thank you. Have I been to the Del Mar Beach Club in Cozumel? You know, I've not been to Cozumel in a while now, but when I would go to Cozumel, I would do El Cid's was the easiest one. And back in the day, I used to go to No Name Bar. I'd go hang out with the crew when I was younger. When I fit in more with the crew these days, I can be the crew's father. I feel like. So I don't do that as much. But if I get off in Cozumel, I'll go to El Cid's, which is right there by the port. Great views of the cruise ship. They've got all the amenities, decent food. That's the spot that I've gone to. I don't think that I've ever been to the Del Mar Beach Club. They've got a ton of them to choose from. Just do some research on YouTube and see what you're going to be getting. So they did buy the port. I knew that the report that I was reading said they were looking into doing that. And hey, look, if that's what they want to do, good on them. I mean, Costa Maya is my least favorite port, talking about the physical area of the port, because I can never, for the life of me, figure out how to get out of that place. I walk off the ship, and you would think you just beeline it and you can get, out of the port area. It is so convoluted, so crowded, so confusing. I mean, I could almost see somebody getting lost there and not being able to make it back to the cruise ship. I do not like that port at all in Costa Maya. And they do need more places for the mega ships to go. I think the days of cruise lines being able to woo some of the smaller countries, some of the smaller ports, those days are gone. They're looking at the Royal Caribbean's money and what they're offering to pay and saying it's not worth it. Like, we don't want that to become our city. And so they're now being forced to create their own locations that they can go because these big ships, to your point, just can't get anywhere, Nelly. Like, you're spot on with that. Hey, Brant, how are you, sir? 29 days till the Allure of the Seas. I might see you there, Brant. What day are you there? I've got the Allure coming up. Am I on my 24 schedule? I am on the Allure if you're 24 days. Oh, maybe not. November 15th, I'll be there. But before that, or I'm actually there October 25th if you're there. So maybe we'll get some overlap going. You'll be in February, not my first cruise for sure, but we'll be for kiddos. Oh, that's awesome. You're taking the kids and dad with you, Katie. Are you going on the February 14th sailing? Is that the day that it's actually going? If so, I will see you there. I'm coming back over to my spreadsheet to see the actual day that cruise goes. February 13th. I was correct earlier. If you're going to be there, we'll have to set up time to grab a coffee. Hi there, spam. We are going to block you. If I can figure out how to do it. I think I've done it. Oh. Can't ban a chant order a moderator. Okay, that's great. I don't know. I'll figure this out at some point. Let's see. Nope, not letting me do it. Can I do it over here on this side? Maybe I did do it and didn't realize it. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Just wanted to check this out. I'm still getting used to moderating while I talk, but sometimes you just got to do those things. Sig, you are on Sun Princess. Last minute changes and things not being ready. This will be my last inaugural type sailing for ships. Have a blast. I'm sure you're going to love it. You have such an easygoing personality, though, Sig. Like, I know that you handle those things without a problem. And I know I say Sig. Your name's Cheryl. I don't know why I always say Sig. I guess because it's in the screen name. But if you want me to call you Cheryl, I can do it. I know what it is. I know your real name over there. Sorry, I forgot to say Princess. We have horrible offers from Celebrity. Fair. Okay. So I don't know the Princess offer system, but I can definitely say the Celebrity and Royal Caribbean offers were not great. So good to know. Utopia is Saturday boarding now for 3 nights. Utopia is Saturday boarding now for. Oh, so they've already delayed it, is what you're saying. Okay. And then I guess they'll shorten the next one. It's always interesting to me how cruise lines make some of these decisions. I'm surprised they've pushed it out, honestly, because the storm should be well out by Thursday evening, I think. So I think that's a little proactive. But if people are changing flights and all sorts of stuff, there's a lot of downstream impacts. It probably is nicer that they at least know that it's going to be happening on Saturday, and it's just they can go ahead and make the right arrangements and updates. Do you have to pay if held up? You do not. So interestingly, you're probably going to wind up getting paid yourself. So if you do get stuck on a cruise ship for a hurricane, you can't come back into port for whatever reason, traditionally, they're going to give you free Wi-Fi. They'll give you onboard credit. They'll do something to say sorry. I mean, right? You got to hate the situation. But there's a lot of stress that comes with being on a cruise ship that is staying out longer than it should. Because again, hotel reservations, flight reservations, kids are supposed to be in school. You're supposed to have your medicines. There's all sorts of things that change or that happen. And so it's not great. You also, I've been on cruises where they've been shortened. So as Adam was just saying, one ship is going to be extended and the next sailing is probably going to wind up being shortened by a few days if they don't just let them stay on the same thing. But they always try to make it up to you. So they'll say, hey, if you still come on this shorter sailing because we had to extend the other one, we'll give you 50% of however much you paid for this back. We'll give you a free drink package. They'll do something to try to sweeten the deal, and then you'll probably get future cruise credit as well. I personally feel like, even though it's a horrible experience, they always seem to try their best to make it not so bad. Yeah, so that makes a lot more sense now, Nelly, that I'm piecing all this together. Yeah, Chris, that is definitely one of the advantages to it. If you're doing one of the shorter cruises, out of any of the Gulf Coast ports, you will have your own perfect day experience now. And so I think that'll be pretty cool for those people that want to experience it, because those ships don't have enough time to make it to the Bahamas and back. So this will be a huge win for those people that are really looking for that nicer, more elevated experience. I still don't like that you don't get to see Mexico, that you just get to see Royal Caribbean's private island. But that's just me. I'm getting some of these twice. Ralph G, yes. Talking about what people are hearing on the Sun Princess. I hope you're not majorly disappointed either. I mean, if you signed up for a cruise, I want you to go and have a good time, Sig. Thanks, Katie. All is well down here. Surprisingly, down in Miami, we've got just a little bit of wind. It is stronger than it normally is. There's no rain, so it's pretty easy going for us so far. Keep Central Florida in your thoughts, though. That's where I think more of the storm is making landfall probably any moment now. And Katie, I will see you there. I'll get to meet the kiddos and the dad, or me and you can sneak off and do our own thing if you want to. Ooh, JY. What do I think is a reasonable amount to pay for a cruise? Yours is $170 per night, and I try to get through onboard credit to cover gratuities. I mean, this is a real personal issue on, how much disposable income people have and what they're willing or not willing to. In my case, I do like keeping it pretty low. The most that I will do is probably around $225, $250 a night. That's me pushing it. If I'm a solo cruiser, that's kind of the most that I would ever do per night. But I do try to keep it much lower than that, in the $100 ranges. And onboard credit is always nice. I don't focus as much on the onboard piece of it, but just finding that good deal up front. But that's my personal list, $250 and under. But I really gravitate towards $200 and under. And every now and again, like with MSC, I can get that even cheaper. The way that they've changed the marketing of the prices is actually, I think, changed the calculation, because it used to be, well, are you talking about the cruise fare, JY, or are you talking about the all-in cruise price? And so now those lines have gotten a little bit blurred. So I think a lot of people used to say the cruise fare and then port fees and taxes and all that good stuff is whatever it is. I think they're having to shift their mentality, because it's much easier to see the total amount when you're booking a cruise now, and then see what the true cost is per night, not including what the gratuities are going to be once you board. Yep, all is well here, West Coast cultured. Nothing to speak of at all in South Florida other than some increased winds. We are in good shape. Oh, if it's a 2-day cruise, if I wasn't gone, Adam, I'd be signing up for that. So they shortened it. So they will absolutely be giving these people onboard credit and some extra stuff. So if anybody has heard what they're going to be getting for the Utopia sailing, that's shorted. They'll get that. All right, just wanted to make sure I wasn't calling you by the wrong name there, Sig. I'll stick with Sig because it's in your screen name here, but I do know your real name from watching your videos. Sig's a YouTuber as well who does a lot of solo travel. Oh, that's interesting. Good to know, Chris, that they're going to need to actually check out the port. So even though the storm may be gone, that's then when the port authorities come out and say, okay, now let's check everything to make sure the ships can still come in, that there's not a trampoline that found itself in the water that's going to mess up a propeller or something. That's really good to know. December 27th, 9-night on Grandeur, small ships. I like small ships, and it's mainly because they are more personal. I 100% agree with you on that, Katie. It's easier, at least for me, to meet people on smaller ships. You've only got so many places you can go, and you're going to run into people constantly. And it's more intimate. You don't feel as much like a number as you will on one of the larger ships. You feel more like you're part of a group. So I also appreciate that. I think the Grandeur probably needs a little bit of love from the last time I was on her. She might be showing her age a little bit, but go with an open mind and hopefully you'll have a great time. Yeah, they really do. And sometimes, I mean, you can get lucky and book something that you really did want afterwards if they allow you to switch it. You never know. Let's hope not, Beverly. Fingers crossed for you and your family, especially your little doggy here in your picture. Hope all goes well in St. Augustine. Katie Kendrick, Orlando, stay safe. I know Orlando may be in the middle of the panhandle, but it is still going to get some winds. It's still going to get a lot of rain. And as we are being reminded of, rain can do just as much damage as that wind can. So stay safe, Katie, for us. It's been raining all day. Yeah, the rain's going to be a tough one. If you're in some of those bands, it looks like some folks are going to be getting 10 plus inches, which is crazy. That we will, Katie. You are now officially on my list. So let me know as the time gets closer and we'll schedule something. Thanks, Shaden. I will try to make it back next week as well. I'm enjoying doing these. I'm getting on a really good repetition. I think I still like Tuesday nights probably better, but Wednesdays work pretty good too. Yeah, they are included. You can still see the breakout when you go up to the pricing of it, but they all are included now. So when you say price per night, we're actually looking at the real number, which is probably what we should have been looking at the whole time. I was probably one of those who did not always do that, though. I do, Dino. I really do. So the travel agent sometimes doesn't like me because I'm always like, I want a different room. Like I've done that room. I filmed that room already. But I do. And look, the room tour videos don't normally get a lot of traffic. They are not heavy hitters by any stretch, but they're super easy for me to make. I can make one of those 10, 12 minutes and we're done. It's one take. I walk around the room, talk about it, and I'm done. But what it does is it then shows that person that, oh, this person has content from this cruise ship. So they find the stateroom and then they find my full ship walking tour, my pro tips about it. And so that I really enjoy. So it's kind of like a loss leader, if you will. Unlike my gym tours, which are just a loss. Those nobody ever watches. But the people that do love them. And so I make them for those 5 people. Perfect day at chicken sandwich. Oh, that's funny, Lisa. West Coast culture. LA next year again. It is. I just said this earlier, but I always look to make sure I don't get it wrong. November 14th, 2025. So you want to join me on the Quantum of the Seas for a 3-night. It is a true weekend sailing just on the West Coast. Go down to the description and click on the website so you can go to theweekendcruiser.com or you can sign up for the group cruise newsletter and we'll make that happen. That is a proper group West Coast culture. So you will need to go through the travel agent for that one, but glad to get you in touch with them. If you're looking at going, we do have refundable rates. I was looking at some of them with a friend of mine earlier today who wants to go, and they are refundable. So if you get there, you can't make it, you just wind up backing out and get your money back. It is, Laurel. I think that it's a shame that it's come down to, having to make laws, but these laws have been on the books in places like Europe for ages. The sheer fact that if you go to buy something that's $80 and when you check out, it's actually $230 makes absolutely no sense. The way that people can get away with the, quite frankly, deceitful marketing, making you think that something is cheaper only for you to realize that there's taxes, there's service fees, there's convenience fees, there's all these other things to it. Gratuities and service charges I'll throw in there. It should all be built in so that you know what you are paying for. Otherwise, I think that it is psychological marketing to deceive you into spending more money that you did not intend on spending, that you didn't think about. They've got one. Somebody was trying to get me together. They've got a DJ doing a 2-night sailing coming up in November, which I don't think that I'm going to wind up doing. I might see if I can do it. But it's with a DJ, and I don't know that I would care much about a DJ. If Virgin had more weekend cruises, I would be there more. That would be one change. But at the same time, Mimi, those ships aren't set up for weekends, I don't think. Like if we could go to Bimini and get off at their private island and do that experience, fine. But I don't see the way that the ship is set up. It's really set up for longer sailings because of the rotating restaurants. You don't have that main dining room. And that would be, if I had to do reservations for a 7-night cruise on there, I think I'd go insane. Or even the rush of trying to get to your favorite restaurants on a 3-night, you'd only make it to half of the restaurants on there. So I hear you. I wish they would too. I think that their ships aren't cut out for more short sailings to what they're already doing. They'll do some 4 nights now, but I think that that's probably as low as it should go. And I hate to say that because I always love more weekends. Oh, thanks, Katie. Glad you like them. Am I on Quantum October 2nd? No, you're going to miss me. November of 2025. And I've already got it booked when they're deploying the others or when the next trips are going to be coming out so that I can jump all over those. Beverly, let's see what you got here. I saw your video on Utopia. I agree with the music, very loud. It was a fun ship. We're going back over Thanksgiving. You know, that is a great way to do it. They'll have a special menu for you for Thanksgiving as well. Utopia is a good time. I enjoyed it, but I wanted to make sure people understood when you're going on a weekend cruise, regardless of what that ship is, it means that it's going to have a certain atmosphere to it and it's going to have a certain energy to it and a certain clientele to it. People, I think, got really distracted by it's a new royal ship. It's doing weekends. It's, you know, had all this hype about it and forgot that at the end of the day, it's just a weekend cruise. And it's going to have groups. It's going to have parties. It's going to have drink packages. All that stuff, Beverly, as you know at this point, comes with it. You can absolutely get out of that if you want. But you need to know that you're going to definitely feel that, especially in the music. That is the comment I heard the most was it was loud. Everywhere you went, there was a certain level of loud to it. Angel, you're on MSC Seashore for a girls' weekend cruise on November 21st. Any advice? You're going to be on that cruise. So MSC Seashore, am I there? Oh, I put my cup in the way. Let's see, November 21st. I don't think package because you're just going to play off of one another and you drink more when you're in a group than if you're just by yourself. At least that's how I personally am or was back when I drank. I would also say set the expectation that, hey, we don't have to be connected at the hip. It is a big ship. If you want to go this way, I want to go that way. We're all adults here, Angel. Like we can do different things if we want to, and that's okay. We'll meet back up for dinner or what have you, or you can plan it. Make sure that everybody has the Wi-Fi package so that you can communicate while you're at sea as well, using WhatsApp or Instagram messages so that you can stay connected should somebody go in different rooms or different directions. I don't know if you have different rooms. That sometimes is a nice feature, but one that drives the price up. It's from there, I would just have like maybe a meeting during breakfast and say, hey, what do we want to do today? If you can all meet up for breakfast at the same time or coffee and just say, hey, what's our schedule going to look like today? And kind of tentatively see what you're going to do. You can do some of that in advance, but for the seashore, it's not really necessary. You can just figure it out when you get there. But I hope y'all have a wonderful time. Oh yeah, the dinner reservation thing. That's the only reason I say Virgin wouldn't be good, Mimi. I think their shows would work. A sea day on Virgin, I think sucks because their pool is so small. Whoever let them build that ship with a pool that small on it should be ashamed of themselves. Like I don't know who looked at that and said, this is a great idea. We want a pool to be just that size. And I get that they wanted to do something different, but it means that I'd never want to have a sea day on Virgin Voyages. And so I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole different topic. Katie, enjoy Utopia. It is a fun time. Go enjoy the music, enjoy yourself, and all the changes. That'll be the next video that comes out, hopefully next week, maybe Sunday. That's what I'll watch it. Steve, I'm glad somebody watches the gym tours. I do enjoy them. They're, again, something super easy for me to do and film that I personally enjoy. I always go and work out there first myself, see what it's like, see how it flows, and then report back. Ooh, Diamond Plus. That's where good benefits kick in. So you're going to get 5 drinks, Katie, and you'll get 48 hours of internet. So that is really, really cool that you can have that. And 48 hours, by the way, doesn't change based on the length of the sailing. So if you go on a 7-night cruise as Diamond Plus with Royal Caribbean's Crown and Anchor Society, you're going to get 48 hours. If you go on a weekend cruise, guess what? You're going to get 48 hours. So if you do what I did, I have a good international plan. You guys know I've talked about Google Fi more times than not on here. And when I'm in Nassau, when I'm in the Bahamas, I'm at Perfect Day, I can use the cell tower there with no issue. And so I don't need ship Wi-Fi. So what I would recommend doing, Katie, is buying the ship Wi-Fi when you lose reception in the evening on Friday night. You can then buy it again on the evening that you lose it Saturday night. And then Sunday night, you can go without it, or whichever night you want to go without it, you can do that. It might be more beneficial to keep it on Saturday and Sunday and not have it on Friday. So that way you only go without Wi-Fi or internet for a couple hours. Like, no big deal there. All right, everyone. I think I am all caught up on questions at this point and thoughts. Thank you for joining me. I am going to cut this one a little bit short. I'd like to talk for an hour and a half to 2 hours on here with you all, but I have a flight to catch. Let me actually make sure it's not delayed yet. Resubmit this information, and I am still showing an on-time departure at 11 p.m. tonight for Miami. So fingers crossed that I make it to Bolivia. And if I get on a boat there, I'll post it on the Instagram account. If you don't follow me on Instagram, do make sure that you go over to Instagram. The Weekend Cruiser is the screen name there as well. I'm also on TikTok, but I don't really do much there. So it was a pleasure chatting with you all. Thank you for keeping me company. If you are in Central Florida, my thoughts are with you. Stay safe, make smart decisions, and do what you need to do to be comfortable and to stay safe while you're going through this hurricane. So safe travels to everyone. Just be safe. I think that's the theme of fortunately the last couple of weeks. And we will chat soon. This is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. Hope to see you on a Weekend Cruise soon.